And then you have Peter, the most obnoxious talker, all right? He's talk then think. He's uneducated. He's rough around the edges. I heard someone once say that, you talk about John as the disciple that Jesus loved. Well, Peter was the disciple with a foot-shaped mouth, all right? Some of you are looking at other people in your row right now. I don't know. You can talk about that later. But Jesus loves Peter. He loves Peter. And one of the most remarkable interactions between, and Peter, he vacillates between like right on and way off, all right? It's kind of all or nothing with Peter. But one of his all-in moments, one of his great moments was found in the book of Matthew 16. And I just love this interaction. And right after this, Peter blows it, okay? So that should give us hope too. But here's the interaction. This is Matthew 16, and this is Jesus interacting with Peter. And this is verse 15. Jesus said to them, "Who do you say that I am?" One of the most important questions in history. Who do you say that Jesus is? That is the question. And Simon Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed." Why would Jesus say to Peter, I have to believe that the other disciples were just rolling their eyes again, on this rock, most of the disciples thought the rock was his head. All right? On this rock, I will build my church. That's what Jesus says to Peter. On this rock, I will build my church. And Jesus is revealing a powerful, powerful plan here. A reality that we take so much for granted because we're just part of this long line of history of the church. But what Jesus is saying to Peter at this moment in history was completely revolutionary. And why does he say that he's going to build his church through people like Peter? Well, it's right here. It's in the text. It says, the starting point is this. Who do you say that I am, right? The starting point is that Peter declared that he is the Christ. He declared that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And how did Peter get that right? I love that Jesus tells him how he got it right too. He says, "Flesh and blood have not revealed this to you." In other words, you haven't figured this out on your own. None of the other disciples has made this clear to you. How did he know who Christ was? The same way that we know. My Father in heaven has revealed this to you. In other words, God made himself known to Peter and saved him. And it is on that rock, the rock of salvation, that Jesus builds his church. He takes the context of a dysfunctional person like Peter and he says, "This is my church. That's my team. Those are my people. And I will build my church." You see, we're not a backup plan or some sort of shaky experiment that God just decided to do one day. That's not how this is going. We are the first plan of the sovereign King of creation. He died to secure our ransom, and he rose again to declare his glory. And he's given us that mission. And he's invited us to be plan A to change the world. That's amazing.